You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look me better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper than again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the second part of What If Naruto Enters Scooby-Doo? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Crystal Cove Beach. The gang were all at the beach for the Trickles Trickquid volleyball tournament and they were all looking at the assembled stands and the court. Ah, the beach, the sun, the sea breeze, Naruto was saying before he was cut off. The sand in places I can't reach. Kurama growled as he shook his fur. That net could make a great trap, Fred said looking at the volleyball net as ideas went through his head. Ugh, Naruto rolled his eyes at this along with Daphne. Hey, keep walking. Kurama barked at a guy in a mascot costume walking by them trying to sell some all-natural drink. Anyone want a clam cone? Get them before they're in Scoob's stomach, Shaggy said as he and Scoob were coming back from the clam cabin. Yeah sure, maybe eating will distract me from Kurama shaking himself like a mental patient, Naruto said as Kurama was now rapidly shaking trying to get the sand out of his fur. I told you I hate the sand, Kurama said as he stopped shaking. None for me, I have a seafood allergy, Daphne said. Oh yeah, I remember you swelling up at your sister's wedding, Naruto said with a wince at the memory. Ha! That was classic. She looked like the creative from the Black Lagoon. Kurama cackled. Gak. Daphne proceeded to yank on Kurama's collar with her eyebrows twitching. Act still worth the laugh. Kurama choked out before she let go. Everyone approached the clam shack right behind the excited Scooby and Shaggy. Are you sure you should be eating this? You just ate 3 bowls of ramen before we came here, Velma said to Naruto as she frowned. I'm hungry and I like seafood, sides I've never really tried this place before, Naruto said. Just whatever you do, don't bring up about Skipper's nose, Shaggy said to them. What's wrong with his dash, Velma was asking before. Holy CRP. Kurama yelled out in shock as a big man in a sailor's uniform. What stood out most about him was that there was an eye patch covering where his nose should be. What you looking at, Fox? Skipper asked with a glare. Ho, I mean nothing, Kurama said as he winced as Velma stomped on his tail in warning. Ah, my favorite customers, what will you two be having? Skipper said looking away from Kurama and looking at Scooby and Shaggy. One of our regular orders and my friend here wants to try one of your clambered cones, Shaggy said as she smiled at Naruto. Coming right up lads, Skipper said as he went to go make the food orders. Seems like a nice guy to me, Naruto said with a smile as while gruff Skipper seemed nice enough. So Skipper, what's the deal with moving your cabin? Shaggy asked curiously. Rah. Scooby asked curiously as he didn't like change. Ah, blasted city does it to me every time there's an event on this beach. They have me, moving my place of business just to satisfy themselves with these events, Skipper said. Well, don't worry, from what my mom says your food is good enough that you could have your stand in the middle of the sea and people would come find it, Naruto said with an encouraging smile. Ah, Kushina good lass, taught her a thing or two about ways around the clam back in my youth, Skipper said with a chuckle as he recognized Naruto since well everyone recognized Naruto thanks to his exploding gadgets. And I bet she taught you a few things too, Naruto muttered seeing a giant clam on the wall. She hunted down the clam that took me nose and had it stuffed for me, still surprised a lass like that knows more curse words than me, Skipper said with a chuckle. Yeah, that sounds like mom alright, Naruto said as Skipper gave them the clam cones. Scooby and Shaggy started to eat their cones with gusto while Naruto tried his apprehensively before he smiled and started to eat happily. It's not bad, wanna try it, Velma? Naruto asked. Pass and you're limited to one, Velma said firmly as Naruto quickly finished his cone. Again with that, Velm, you know me, my metabolism is so good, you really see this getting fat? Naruto said gesturing to his belly pulling up his shirt for more emphasis. Velma blushed a little at this before she shook her head clearing her thoughts. Nice try mister, but I worry about you and your eating habits, she said. What's wrong with my eating habits? Are you kidding cuz? Daphne asked with a raised eyebrow. Yeah, I'm your pet and I know you eat nothing but CRP, Kurama said as he shook more sand out of his fur. Shaggy eats the same way and look at him, he's a toothpick, me. I can at least pass for an Olympic swimmer or weightlifter, Naruto said. Hey, leave me out of this, Shaggy said as him and Scooby finished their meal. Rah, Scooby yelled as he didn't want to lose his eating buddy. They heard a whistle being blown and people going over to the stands near the court. Come on gang, let's go grab out seats, Fred said with a grin as he led them. You just want to stare at the brain freeze, Naruto said. Don't you need a brain to get that? Kurama asked with a snicker. Velma, Kurama is being mean to me, Naruto whined as he held his head as they walked. Velma sighed as she placed her hand on his forehead and started to rub it. Better, she asked. Yes. Naruto said with a smile as he held Velma's hand after he felt better. You just wanted to hold my hand, Velma said with a knowing smirk. Always. Naruto said with a grin, placed her head on his shoulder as they all sat down. Daphne looked at the couple with jealousy at this before she looked at Fred. May want to tell him before you snap and go all I won't be ignored, Urk. Kurama said with a snicker. That's it, I'm gonna dash, Daphne was saying as she grabbed Kurama by his throat before she was interrupted. Suddenly a large crab claw busted out of the sand grabbing the volleyball and popped it. A large crab man came up out of the sand screeching. Everyone screamed in terror as they all started to run in a panic. Gadget time. Naruto said as he reached into his pocket to try a new invention. A pen? Are you slacking in the gadgets now? Daphne said. Nope, watch this, Naruto said as he clicked the pen which sparked and then shot a dart out of the writing end and hit a guy sitting below them causing him to fall over asleep. DMN it, Kurama, you grabbed the wrong one off the desk. And I said to label that SHT. Kurama choked out as Daphne still had him by the throat. Just run. Shaggy yelled at him and Scooby took off running. The man crab dropped in front of them and screeched. Not showing fear, Naruto reached into his pocket and squirted something into its mouth with a small bottle making it cough. If you're gonna roar in people's faces, pop a mint plankton breath, Naruto said with a grin. It then swung at him with it, pretty much only use arm claw only to get it stuck in the bleachers when he ducked. Now we may run, Naruto said with a smirk as he ran away. You have more ball than brain sometimes, man, Shaggy said as he and Scooby ran with Naruto. Seeing the people were gone, the man crab sunk back into the sand after freeing its claw along with a chunk of the bleachers. Later. A little later the police was here and get statements from all the witnesses. You all are always in the middle of things like this, huh? Minato asked with a sigh as he stood in front of them. Wrong place, wrong time, it's kind of our thing by now, Naruto said with a smile. Gotta love Naruto's ability to always stand up to the monsters, Daphne said patting her cousin on the back. Didn't do all that well, it took a player, Naruto said as he did a head count and there was one volleyball player missing. Is the tournament still gonna happen? Velma asked Minato curiously. If it was up to me, no, but the sponsor Peter Trickle said no even after Sheriff Bronson said we're not equipped to deal with a crab monster. Ask me, it's the mascot, Kurama said as he. Kurama, you're just saying that as you hate mascots, Naruto said flatly. Yes, those ridiculous costumes, like have some decency you people and wear something not ridiculous. Try to sell their stupid products. Kurama growled out. Well, that's his rant for the day, Naruto said. No, here's my rant, get me home so I can take a bath and get this sand out of me, DMN it. Kurama yelled out in frustration. Language, Velma said with a glare at the kitsune. Bite me, fat ass. Kurama yelled out. Naruto stomped on Kurama's tail at this as he glared at his pet who yelled in pain. Minato raised an eyebrow at this before he shrugged. Okay kids, head home. Naruto, Kurama, you're with me, he said. Naruto nodded at this as he and Kurama followed Naruto to Minato's patrol car. Everyone else went to Fred's van as Minato started driving off with Naruto in the passenger seat and Kurama in the back seat. Everyone in the police car was silent. Everything okay, son? I noticed you haven't been eating as much, Minato asked, trying to break the awkward silence. I'm fine, don't worry, Naruto was saying before. The fat has asked him to go on a diet. Kurama yelled before he ducked down into the back of the car as Naruto tried to take a swipe at him. Why would Velma care about you eating? Oh, Minato said as realization hit him. Naruto groaned as he slumped into his seat. If it makes you feel better, I've kinda known for a while you two aren't exactly subtle, Minato said. Yes, we are. We have been hiding it for 6 months. Please. You two look at each other like you're each other's only reason for living, it's disgusting. Kurama yelled from the back seat. 6 months. Wow, you really don't want your mom to know, huh? Minato said with a chuckle at his son. Naruto growled in annoyance at this. And Kurama, you're one to talk, I've seen you send similar looks at the neighbor's poodle at times, Minato said. Oh ho. Is that a fact? Naruto asked with a smirk at this information. I'm a fox, I have needs, urges. Kurama said as he growled in annoyance. Good to know, I need to get you fixed, Naruto said with an evil grin. You're never taking me alive. Kurama yelled as he tried to jump out through the back window, but the bars on it prevented him from doing so, making him groan in pain. Naruto laughed at this while Minato chuckled as he continued to drive. Anyway son, don't worry, I won't tell your mom, but you know the longer you wait the worse it will be when she finds out, Minato said to his son, wanting to put him at ease. Naruto nodded in thanks at this as he thought about the crab monster. The next day. It was now morning and Naruto was at his mom's restaurant sitting at the bar waiting for his mom. So I'm gonna guess ramen for breakfast, brat? Kushina asked as she approached. Naruto smiled at this but hesitated as he thought about Velma. Actually, how about some pancakes, he asked. Kushina paused at this while Minato, who was eating next to Naruto, paused too before he chuckled knowingly. Are you feeling okay? Kushina asked with a raised eyebrow. Yeah, why do you ask? Naruto asked, trying to keep a good poker face. Because this is the 3rd week you've rejected breakfast ramen, Kushina said with a suspicious tone. Can't a guy decide to eat a little healthier? Naruto asked with a nervous chuckle. Kushina looked at her son with a flat look at this. "You're not buying it now, talk," she said as she put her hands on her peach. What do you mean not buying it? Naruto asked. Kid, I have seen that body grow from a sweet adorable baby, and once you got to 8 you lost all the baby fat, and not once have I seen a ounce of fat on you, so quit the diet talk or I start swinging, Kushina said, knowing his metabolism like the back of her hand. Look, I just want to mix it up a bit now, can I get my pancakes? Naruto asked, hoping his mom would drop this. Fine, but I'm watching you, brat, I'll find out what's going on, you can't hide anything from me, I have eyes in the back of my head. Kushina yelled as she went into the kitchen to go make the pancakes. Naruto sighed in relief while Minato patted him on the back while Kurama, who was sitting nearby, rolled his eyes. So what's the plan for the beach today? Kurama asked curiously. I'm going to use one of my special gadgets to check the sand. No way is that thing just down there crawling, Naruto said. So you don't think it's an actual crab monster? Minato asked curiously as he drank his coffee. Dad, since when has any of the things the gang has gone up against ever been real? Oh, I know, I just want to know what you think. I think someone is trying to get back at this company, basically making profit off water by calling it something different, Naruto said. How did you come up with that? Minato asked. Yeah. All I have is that the man crab is mechanical, Kurama said with a scowl. Since when do you know how a machine moves, Fluffy? Kushina asked as she came out with Naruto's food. Please, I have years of watching his gadgets go haywire under my fur, Kurama said as she placed the pancakes in front of Naruto. Well, why the volleyball match, why that specific event that this triquid thing is sponsoring? It can't be to get at the players, it's never that simple. Nobody would go through all that trouble just to ruin a volleyball player, so I assume it's to get back at the company, Naruto said. Most likely, Minato said as he nodded in agreement. I still say it's the mascot, Kurama said with a growl. Naruto, Minato and Kushina groaned at this as they shook their heads at Kurama's hatred of mascots. So what kind of gadget is going to be used? Minato asked his son. Well, Fred says he has a trap planned already, so I'm gonna have something set up to make sure the trap leaves the crab monster unconscious, Naruto said with a grin as he ate his pancakes. Don't leave marks, son. I had a lot of paperwork after you tasered the last guy with your glove, Minato said as he finished his food. F that. If he won't stay down, then kick his butt until he stays down, Kushina yelled as she served some customers who were used to her rowdiness. Speaking of, here brat, next time label this SHT, Kurama said as he handed Naruto what looked like a self-made metal baton with his tail. Naruto rolled his eyes and took the baton and put it on his belt before he got up to leave as he saw Fred's van park in the parking lot. Here brat, Kushina said as she threw a paper bag at Naruto which he caught. Ah, your breakfast biscuits, Naruto said with a smile as he smells inside the bag. Yeah, for your friends, now get going, Kushina said with a smile. Naruto nodded as he left the restaurant with Kurama close behind. Later at the beach. Naruto was with Scooby, Shaggy and Kurama while he was scanning at the beach while Fred got the trap ready and Velma was helping Daphne get ready to be bait. Is that a metal detector? Shaggy asked Naruto as he was using a device to scan the sand. It was a metal detector, till I souped it up. Now come on, this thing has to have some kind of tunnel or something in the sand, Naruto said as he scanned the beach. So it's like a scanner to find tunnels? Scooby asked curiously. Pretty much, Chowhound, Kurama said with a nod. Like, how does it work? Shaggy asked curiously. Pretty much it scans the ground and it shows me what's underneath on the display, Naruto said pointing at the display on the screen. It's his prototype in Sonic Underground. Imaging pings are sent down to get an image and then it's put on that tiny little screen, Kurama said. Shouldn't you like up the power a little then so you can scan deeper? Shaggy asked. No. My fur just grew back from the last explosion, Kurama said. Relax, it doesn't go that high anymore, Naruto said as he turned a dial up and soon an image appeared on the screen. On the screen was what looked like 3 teens in a crab cage. Aha, got them. There must be caves underneath us, that's how he's getting around, Naruto said with a grin on his face. Oh great, I was afraid we would have to go look in the underground caves, Shaggy said with a groan. Yikes. Scooby said with a shiver along with his best friend. Relax, have you forgotten who you're with? I never run from the monsters as I always have something up my sleeve, Naruto said. They then heard some screams from the other beachgoers nearby, making Shaggy and Scooby shiver even more, and Naruto and Kurama run towards the screams. Hope you have something good. Looks like the crab monster is after Daphne and already has the fat as, Kurama said as they all spotted Daphne running away from the crab monster who had Velma in on of his claws as it chased Daphne. Naruto scowled at this as he took out his metal baton. Get out the butter, Kurama, I'm gonna crack open this crab, he said as he pushed a button on the metal baton which caused a giant metal hammer to pop out of the end. Zoinks! He's like Harley Quinn! Shaggy yelled in surprise seeing this. Rah! Scooby said with a nod of agreement. Naruto took his position and glared at the man crab. Hey crab cake, he yelled out at him. The man crab turned around and screeched at Naruto. Drop the girl, you and me are gonna dance, with a side of butter and shrimp. Naruto yelled as he readied his hammer. The crab seemed to laugh as it dropped Velma before charging. As it charged, it suddenly was sent flying in the air thanks to the trap Fred had set and was being sent towards a smiling Naruto. 4. When the man crab was in position, Naruto gave the hammer a golf swing, sending it flying again as the hammer slammed into its chin. The man crab slammed into the bleachers of the volleyball tournament, breaking them. The crab man groaned as it tried to get up, sparking bit as it twitched. Before Naruto slammed his hammer into its head, making it spark more and fall to the ground. Naruto paused at this as realization hit him. Oh my god, I am just like my mother. The crab tried to get up again, meeting another hammer swing, making it fall back down, this time cracking the shell of the now obvious mechanical suit. Stay down, my cousin can do this all day, Daphne said as Naruto readied his hammer again, but Velma grabbed his wrist, stopping him. It's a mechanical suit, I knew it. Believe me, if it's mechanical I know how it works, Naruto said with a grin. Steam left the suit as it opened up. What the hell, dude? You almost killed me, a man yelled as he lumbered out of the suit holding his head. Who the heck is this guy? Naruto said. It's the mascot guy. I knew it. Kurama yelled with a grin at being right. How did the dog figure it out? The man grumbled. Naruto, Fred, Daphne and Velma groaned at this, while Scooby and Shaggy hid behind Naruto at this, while Kurama's fur went on end as he growled. I am a fox. Die for your sins, mascot of evil. Kurama yelled as he attacked the man by biting his leg. The man yelled in pain as he fell to the ground and started to try in vain to get Kurama off him. I'll call the police, Daphne said as she took out her phone, knowing this case was pretty much solved. And the ambulance, Velma said as the man screamed in pain from Kurama's attacks. Kurama, get off, we still need to find out why he did this. Let me guess, you made this crud and Trickle bumped you off? Naruto asked flatly as he grabbed Kurama by the back of his neck and picked him up off the man. Yes, my name is Bud Shelton. Peter Trickle stole my beverage. I was going to sell the beverage as Bud's Blush, but he stole it, renamed it, then stuck me as the company's advertising mascot. How'd you know? He asked. Buddy, we've been solving mysteries for years, we've had at least a couple dozen cases like this, Naruto said. Now we just need to wait for the cops to arrive, Fred said, happy his trap worked out. If you think I'm gonna just wait for Bud was saying before he was cut off. You want me and Kurama to keep you busy? Naruto asked with a glare as he held up a growling Kurama with one hand and his hammer with the other. No, I'm good, Bud said as he sat down on the sand. That's what I thought. Now to get those people you held in the caves below out, Velma said. I knew where they are, babe, I'll lead the way. Kurama, if he moves rip out his throat, Naruto said as he led Velma away. Gladly. Kurama said with a grin as he glared at a shivering Bud. Later. Everyone was giving their report to Naruto's dad while Bronson and his men locked up Bud in a cop car. Couldn't just say something, had to make a crab suit, ugh, some people, Minato said. You should have seen it, Mr. Minato, like Naruto went all Looney Tunes with that mallet of his on that guy, Shaggy said with a grin. Rah-ha, like Bugs Bunny, Scooby said with a smile. Hey, he had my girl in his claws, that is the line, Naruto said with a grin as he hugged Velma, who was next to him. And Naruto, your dad, Velma said with a blush. It's fine, babe, he knows and won't tell my mom, Naruto said with a smile. Sure, your mother will like that, the hammer part not the Velma part, Minato said with a chuckle at the young couple. Yeah, I let my inner Uzumaki out on that tin can, Naruto said with a grin on his face. And now the wait until the next vengeful creep, hopefully something original this time. Minato said as he and the other cops took Bud to prison. Later at the Kagul lounge. Everyone was sitting in the lounge, Scooby and Shaggy eating some waffles while the others were talking while Angel was working in the studio. Man, I forget how strong you can be, like how can you dent metal like that with such ease, with a hammer no less, Fred said complimenting Naruto. It's why I work out, Mama didn't raise this boy with just a lot of brains now, Naruto said with a smile. Suddenly Kurama looked up, watching as a piece of paper flew in through the window, landing on Scoob's face. Ray. Scooby said as he stopped eating to look at the paper, seeing it's part of an old newspaper. Velma took the paper and looked it over. What is it, babe? Naruto asked curiously. It's a news article about a group of teens that disappeared years ago. Daphne looked at the article and her eyes widened. Hey, I recognize two of those teens from that locket mystery left us before, she said as she took out said locket and opened it, showing the picture inside to them all. Whatever this big mystery is about, it involves these four. This one kinda looks familiar, but I can't place her, Naruto said as he pointed out one of the teens. As they all talked about this, Angel was listening in on them through the station's soundboard, frowning. A few days later. Everyone was in the mystery machine on their way to school. Fred and Daphne were in the front of the van while the others were in the back. You three gonna share those? Naruto asked, seeing Scooby, Shaggy and Kurama eating some donuts. Maybe if the chow hound doesn't inhale them before I get one out, Kurama said as he swallowed a donuts. Would not, Scooby said as he took his head out of the box of donuts. Please. You'd eat the toothpicks the minute he turns his head, Kurama said while Shaggy continued to eat. Hey gang, check it out. Fred said as he stopped the van. Oh, what is it now? A vine that looks perfect for a foot trap. Kurama said as everyone looked out the front window and saw that there was a police roadblock. Looks like something happened. Oh well, let's go, Kurama said. Would you pretend to care? Naruto asked. Okay, still don't, Kurama said with a snicker. Oh, get moving, Velma said as she grabbed Kurama by the back of his neck and carried him out of the back of the van. One of these days I'm going to be too big for you to do this, Kurama said with a scowl of annoyance. Yeah, keep eating, fatty, Velma said with a flat tone. At least all the food I eat doesn't go to my ass, Kurama countered before he yelled as Velma dropped him. The hell happened? Naruto asked as they all approached the blockade into a neighborhood and saw that several cars were getting ready to leave the neighborhood. We got reports of the kids going all rabid and all monsterfied, Minato said to his son. I swear if this is another psycho-hypnotist clown thing, Velma said as she shook her head. Can we help Mr. Minato? Fred asked as he smiled, ready to help. Oh no, you don't. Not this time, Mayor Jones said as he approached them. Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, F off, Kurama said before Naruto covered his mouth. Dad, we can help dash. Not happening. We have been getting reports of a monster called korifico turning all the kids into its monster slaves. It's a tourist gold mine and you're not ruining this one, Mayor Jones said as he. Now see, Mr. Mayor, that just makes me want to punch you in the face, Naruto said as he clenched his fists. Naruto, Minato said with a firm tone. No, I'm fine if any kids get hurt because of this psycho, because you let him roam I'm gonna be coming after you personally, Naruto said. Mayor Jones glared at Naruto before he looked at Minato. Uzumaki, get your kid out of my sight, he said. Your Honor, and with all due respect I'd help him, Minato said as he himself shared Naruto's view of the kids being in danger as he had Naruto and the others walk off. When they were out of sight, Mayor Jones took a breath as he wiped his brow with his handkerchief. That's his mother's son all right, he muttered as he adjusted his suit. With Naruto. Fred, I love you like a brother, but I swear I'm gonna have your dad be my next test subject, Naruto growled as he sat in the back of the mystery machine with Velma next to him while Fred drove. Fred chuckled nervously as he was hoping Naruto was kidding. Like what the heck was that all about? Shaggy asked curiously. You're not usually one to start a fight, Scooby said, also curious. I have a soft spot for kids, you know that. And the fact that this guy isn't going after jewels, money or even revenge but kids really gets at me, Naruto said as he scowled before Velma hugged his arm, calming him a bit. Yeah, Uncle Minato is the same way. I thought he was gonna punch your dad, Fred. Daphne said. Should have let me bite him, Kurama said with a scowl. Next chance you get, go nuts, Naruto said with an evil smirk. Haha, yeah. Kurama cheered at this. Babe, that's mean. Kurama deserves better meals than that, Velma said with a smile. Ha. Okay, fat, as I approve of ya since she's in on it. Kurama yelled. Aunt Kushina's gonna eat this up for her campaign, Daphne said. Like I thought she was bumped out by that avocado guy. Shaggy asked curiously. Mom made him her campaign manager since Great Mayor went on a smile campaign about his father being a thief, Naruto said with a roll of his eyes. Ah, I get it, Mr. Avocado wants to help Kushina win as revenge against the mayor, Fred said as he nodded as he parked the van in the school parking lot. Pretty sneaky, Shaggy said. I'm telling you, she better, and this creep better be keeping an eye out for me at night, Naruto said as he held up a sketch of what looked like a masked figure holding a pan flute. Where you get that? Kurama asked as they all got out of the van. Dad passed it to me, said if we wanted to do some research on our own then to try not to get caught, Naruto said as Velma took the sketch. Like creepy, Shaggy said as he shuddered in fear. Rah, creepy, Scooby said as he also shivered as they all entered the high school. Later at lunch. Naruto was sitting at his table with Velma, who was still looking over the sketch Minato had given them. Any ideas what this could be? Velma said as she looked at the sketch. Probably could ask Professor Petrillo, I have seen him with a pan flute before, maybe there is a connection, Naruto said as he ate a sandwich. Seems too easy if you ask me, Velma said as she frowned. Everything is too easy for you, Kurama said as he poked her head with his tail, if it weren't for this we probably wouldn't have figured out so many of these nutcases, as he poked his head out of Naruto's hoodie. And if it wasn't for Naruto's inventions or your wildness we probably wouldn't have caught them so easily, Velma said. Love you too, Kurama said with a snicker. Naruto shook his head at this and soon spotted Fred walking past him with his books. Hey Fred, you finished lunch already? He asked. Didn't get to eat at the tutor my dad hired for me is making me skip lunch so I can study with her. Oh geez, he didn't get that brat, did he? Kurama asked as he scowled. Excuse me, a voice said behind them. Yep he did, Kurama said flatly as they all looked behind Fred and saw a pre-teen girl with red hair and pigtails and she had glasses. Hey Mary, and Velma said recognizing the young genius. Velma. Marian said with a dismissive tone. So yeah, she's my tutor, Fred said. Fred, let's go, your dad expects your grade to get better for the next test, Marian said as she dragged Fred out of the cafeteria. I usually don't agree with Kurama, but wow, she is a brat, Naruto said as he shook his head. Kurama snickered at this while Velma shook her head. She is not that bad, Velma said. She is a smug know-it-all and thinks she knows what's best for everyone, Naruto said with a flat tone. She's a Twitter journalist? Kurama asked with a raised eyebrow. Ha! Naruto said as he started to laugh hard at this while Velma giggled. What you laughing at? Daphne asked as she approached them. Nothing, cause what's up with you? Naruto asked as he composed himself. If you're looking for your wannabe boy toy, he's with that midget tutor of his, Kurama said as he skipped some fries from Naruto's tray. Daphne frowned at this. I offered to tutor him but his dad said he wanted someone better, she said. Naruto frowned at this before he smiled as a idea hit him. Wanna help me and Kurama prank him? He asked. Dav said nothing to this but slightly smirked at the idea. You're not pranking the mayor, now move mister, Velma said as she got up and pulled Naruto to his feet. Oh come on, he's a SHT mayor for crying out loud. Naruto said as Velma pushed him towards the cafeteria exit with Kurama jumping onto his head. Move mister, Velma said firmly as she pushed Naruto. Where you going? Daphne asked curiously as she followed them. To go see Professor Petrillo, he might know something above this creature, Velma said as she pushed Naruto. Oh I know that guy, he doesn't scream criminal, Kurama said as he shook his head. How do you know him? Naruto asked curiously. Guy shares his lunch with me when he busts me in his office, Kurama said with a smile. And why were you in his office? Daphne asked with a suspicious tone of voice. Interrogate Kurama later, we're here, Velma said as they stopped in front of an office door with the professor's name on it. Yo prof, got any good meals for me today? Kurama said as Naruto knocked on the door. Ah, my favorite kitsune, a man's voice yelled from inside the office before the door opened and an older man with gray hair and a beard was on the other side. This was Professor Petrillo. Ah, are these your friends? Petrillo asked curiously as he looked at Naruto, Velma and Daphne. Well, one of them is, the other two I trade insults with, Kurama said with a snicker. Love you to Fluffy, Velma said with a snarky tone. Petrillo laughed at this. Come in cone, and what can I do for you all? He asked as he let them in. What do you know about this kid stealing freak on the loose? Naruto asked as he held up the sketch of the creature his dad gave him. Petrillo looked at the sketch and his eyes widened. It's a mystical creature called korifico. Obvious name, but I have heard worse, Naruto said before Velma poked him in the forehead so they could listen. He's a creature who is a regular human by day, but by night they transform into this creature and use their pan flute to lure off children and turn them into their evil minions. Of course this is just a story, Petrillo explained. Prof, before we met you thought you were turning into that at night because you weren't sleeping well, Kurama said with a scoff while the professor chuckled sheepishly. Well, whoever out there with a face looking for a punch either from me or my dad, we take things involving children very seriously, Naruto said. Well, if it's someone looking to imitate korifico then they will probably just be active at night, Petrillo explained to them. If this is a fake then how is he turning the kids? Daphne asked curiously. Kurama scoffed at this. It doesn't take much to convince kids to do something, candy, chocolate, their favorite TV show, or the very least hypnosis, he said. I don't care if he's giving them $100, nobody messes with the kids of Crystal Cove without getting a word from me, Naruto said with a scowl. Well, we have the information we need, so let's go save Fred from Mary and go make a plan, Velma said as she led the way out of the office. Thank you for your help, Professor, Daphne said to Petrillo as she followed them. My pleasure, Petrillo said as he tossed Kurama a piece of his sandwich which he caught and ate. Meat loaf. Score. Kurama said with a smile as he swallowed his food. Later that night. It was now dusk and the group were now in one of the neighborhoods next to the abandoned one that was attacked last night. Are you sure this will work? Naruto asked as he sat in a rocking chair dressed as the grandfather while Velma sat next to him dressed as a grandmother. Worked in the past, Fred said with a smile. He was dressed as a father and Daphne was dressed as the mother. Well, I like to think that everyone that fell for the dress-up gags were idiots, Kurama said. Bet you're enjoying this, Naruto said looking at Daphne who was holding the oblivious Fred's arm. Yeah, and so are you, Daphne said with a smile at Naruto. True, Naruto said as he held Velma's hand. Ba dressing as a old couple and being all lovey-dovey, have some pride. Kurama yelled at them. Hey Kurama, are you like ready to pretend to be kids with us? Shaggy asked as him and Scooby approached them dressed as kids. Kurama looked at them while dressed in the same type of child's outfit complete with a big lollipop. Get me a bigger lolly, he yelled as he waved his lollipop at them with his tail. Later now you three go attract korifico, Velma said to them. Shaggy and Scooby nodded at this before they skipped off pretending to be kids. I refuse to skip, Kurama said as he stuck his lollipop in his mouth and followed after the two, his head now in the shape of a lollipop. So what's the plan? Daphne asked Fred and Naruto. When korifico spots them they run away, and when the monster runs past us the trap will go off catching him in a net, Fred said with a smile. Is it okay if I say F it and just slug him when he comes in? Naruto asked curiously. You made the net electric, isn't that enough? Fred asked Naruto curiously. Wait, what? Velma and Daphne asked in surprise. Ayahe. A female voice screamed out while Kurama's laughter was heard. Yes, ha 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 ha. Naruto said triumphantly as he jumped off the porch and ran down the street. Oh come on, it's you. Kurama said as they ran over to where they saw korifico wrapped in a sparking net whose mask was gone, realizing it was Marianne. You, oh come on, the big bad is another kid, Naruto said as he tapped a button on his wrist turning off the net's power. What in the name of the cosmos was that for? Marianne yelled as she looked at Naruto still shaking from being shocked. Brat people around here take kidnapping kids seriously, especially me and my dad. Be lucky he probably would have used the RBB bullets, Naruto said as he glared at her. They are fine. They are dressed up in costumes I gave them. Marianne yelled out as she tried to get out of the net. Let me guess, you wanted to scare out all the adults and rule the town and run it your way. Velma asked with a raised eyebrow. Well yeah, I mean come on, look at it, we have a mayor who cares more about the tourist industry than our own safety. He'd rather have tourists here to see people playing Monster more than anything. What's gonna happen when one of these monsters goes a bit too far? Marion said. You're no better than him, I mean really. You think that Lord of the Flies CRP will actually work? Naruto asked. I'm surprised you can read, you moronic gearhead. Marion yelled at Naruto. Yeah well, I got something you don't, height and a bit of strength. Naruto said as he picked Marion up by the back of her shirt. Your dad is on the way, Daphne said as she put away her phone. Everyone nodded at this. Later. The cops had now arrived and had taken Marion away, and the parents were now home. Kushina was also here since because Naruto used an electric net. Sheriff Bronson thought both latest should be here. Ha! That's my boy. Kushina yelled as she smiled and gave Naruto a thumbs up, which Naruto returned. Would you really have used RBB bullets before you knew it was me? Marion asked Minato as he escorted her to the cop car. I just got the green light to use that when they called me, so you're lucky you only got electrocuted, Minato said firmly as he slammed the door on her after he put her in the car. A kid kidnapping kids, what's next? A dog dognapping dogs? Sheriff Bronson said. Oh come on. I just rented out a bus for a new korifico tour. A older woman with brown hair with gray in it and wearing glasses yelled as she approached them. Mom, Velma groaned as she pinched her nose at this. Oh yeah sure lady, give tours to the place that lets kids take other kids, Naruto said grumbling. You used an electric net on the monster, Daphne said with a flat tone at her cousin, as that was just as reckless. Well yeah, because I thought we were dealing with a kid taking creep, not some children of the corn. Loving brat, Naruto said, not seeing the problem. Electric net. You are getting worse you brat, Miss Dinkley said to Naruto with a disapproving tone. Who the hell are you calling a brat? Kushina yelled out as she approached Miss Dinky. Like this won't end well, Shaggy said with a look of fear as Kushina approached. Rikes, Scooby said as he also looked scared. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Kurama yelled at Kushina before he started cackling madly. Him you red-haired psycho, Miss Dinkley yelled at Kushina. The F you call me? Kushina yelled back as the two moms started yelling at each other, their husbands trying on vain to stop them. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for more crossovers. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.